Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 165. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 18th of March 2015, beginning as usual with my first five, meaning these are the first five books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, All New X-Men number 39. Chapter 5 of the Black Vortex. Storm formulates a plan as the heroes fail to penetrate Mr. Knife's flying fortress. Meanwhile, Beast and Kitty travel as Spartax to decipher the secrets of the Vortex book. And to make matters worse, Kitty and Peter's relationship takes a downward turn. Marvel released a promotional trailer for the Black Vortex.
The Guardians of the Galaxy, a band of rogues traveling the known universe and battling threats of cosmic proportions. The X-Men, mutant superheroes sworn to protect a world that hates and fears them. Together, they are about to encounter one of their greatest threats yet, the Black Vortex. An ancient artifact of immense and immeasurable power has surfaced on the far side of the galaxy, with the power to unlock its users' true cosmic potential. In the wrong hands, the Black Vortex's power could be a force of unparalleled destruction. Intergalactic villains rush headlong to unlock the power of this arcane device. As it falls into the hands of Mr. Knife, the deposed king of Spartax and Star-Lord's father. Knife is joined by Thane, son of Thanos, who has thrown in his lot with Mr. Knife in exchange for power. Now, the Guardians and the X-Men, together with Nova and the Starjammers, must join forces to take down Mr. Knife. Should they fail, the whole universe will suffer the consequences. Guardians of the Galaxy and X-Men, The Black Vortex, a Marvel Comics event.
At number 2, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 16.1. Spiral begins here. The underworld is in a constant flux and has been since the Kingpin got taken out at Shadowland. That war is heating up and Spidey's going to do something about it, but he's not the only one. Police Captain Yuri Watanabe is trying to curtail the madness both in her day job as a police officer and as the vigilante the Wraith. Do she and Spidey play by the same rules? Series writer Jerry Conway explained the story, quote, "The notion here is that the various Marvel crime gangs like the ones led by Hammerhead, Tombstone, the Circus of Crime, Black Cat, and Mr. Negative, they're all at each other's throats because there's no single overlord of crime currently running things in New York. Things only escalated, especially after the Goblin King fell out of the scene and Doc Ock is no longer operating as the superior Spider-Man, keeping a lid on everything. It's an opportunity for all these power players to see which one of them can come out on top. While the larger gang war is taking place over the whole city, we're focusing in on how it's affecting the precinct and Captain Yuri Watanabe, who we also know as the Wraith, and that's where the focus of our story is going to be." Close quote. At number 3, we have Superman number 39. This emotional story reveals a rarely seen side of the Man of Steel as an ordinary person as the superstar team of Jeff Johns, John Romita Jr., and Klaus Jensen continue their epic run on the series. Series writer Jeff Johns spoke about this, his last issue. Quote, "Superman has really struggled with his humanity, or maybe his perception of the lack thereof. Ulysses really has got the opposite problem. He's struggling with the idea that he's human. After this epic battle between the two and what Clark has endured, he unleashes this power, and I think with issue 39, in a strange way, it's almost the world giving Clark a bit of a gift, a bit of a release. Issue 39 is supposed to be a reward for Clark Kent for everything he's gone through with Ulysses. It might be my favorite issue of the bunch, just because it's so character-driven and emotional. We see Jimmy Olsen and Clark connect on a level that we've never ever seen. It's a pretty wonderful issue that John just emotionally knocked out of the park." Close quote. At number 4, we've got Princess Leia number 2 of 5. When Princess Leia Organa was captured by the Empire as a rebel spy, she never betrayed her convictions even in the face of the complete destruction of her homeworld, Alderaan. When her rescue came, she grabbed a blaster and joined the fight, escaping back to the Rebel Alliance and helping strike the biggest blow against the Empire, the destruction of the Death Star. But in the aftermath of that victory, the question remains, what is a princess without a world? Writer Mark Waid and artist Terry Dodson bring us the story of Leia's quest to help her people and find her place in the galaxy. Series writer Mark Waid shared his love for Leia, quote, "She's my favorite because she's so layered and has so much potential. What makes Han interesting is his backstory. What makes Luke interesting is his destiny. For Leia, both her past and future are fascinating," close quote. He went on to say, quote, "Leia's badass. Who could forget that she's the one constantly showing the boys how to use their weapons? There'll be plenty of rollicking action, but it all has to come from her character. She's not rude, she's direct. She's not bitchy, she's easily exasperated by nitwits. She's not bossy, she's a little bossy, but she is a princess," close quote. At number 5, we've got Silk number 2. Silk fights a familiar foe with metal tentacles, and there's much you still don't know about Silk. Find out more here. Series writer Robbie Thompson talked about Cindy's re-entry to society, not just after her years of isolation, but also in the aftermath of Spider-Verse. Quote, "One of the things that I really wanted to explore and examine was what the inner journey by herself did to her inner monologue. It's taken an emotional toll on her, and she's going to be slowly dealing with that over the first arc. She was launched out of a cannon into this massive event. Adrenaline only takes you so far, and once that wears off, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, where's my life now? What am I doing? Who am I? What happened in the last 10 years? So that's something that's slowly creeping in on her, and it's going to be affecting her on an emotional level," close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Batman Eternal number 50. This month in Batman Eternal, the epic Bat story over a year in the making comes to a stunning end. Gotham City is in flames, villains are running wild in the streets, Bat Tech has been corrupted, and the mastermind behind it all has put a knife in Batman's ribs. How will the Dark Knight put an end to the nightmare, and how will it shape the face of Gotham City to come? At number 7, we've got Moon Knight number 13. New creative team, Cullen Bunn and Ron Atkins joined Jordi Belair on Moon Knight. After the shocking events of Moon Knight number 12, Mark Spector is left picking up the piece of what's left of his life. Don't miss this new exciting chapter of Moon Knight. Number 8, we've got Alex plus Ada number 13. Disaster closes in on Alex and Ada. Number 9, we've got Batgirl number 40. A decision Barbara made during her darkest days in Gotham City returns to haunt her. What was it, and how does it tie into the evil imposter Batgirl? Find out here. And at number 10, we've got Cyclops number 11. Rescuing the life of the pirate captain who wants your father dead? Probably a bad idea. Revealing who you really are to the pirate girl who thinks she's in love with you? Possibly even worse. And doing both while trapped on a hostile planet full of angry Shar? No doubt a fatal error. Tune in for this action-packed climax of a pirate's life for me, and witness what will no doubt be the horrific deaths of Cyclops, Corsair, and the Starjammers. For the best of the rest from DC Comics, we've got Batgirl Endgame number 1 one-shot. There's a mob of Jokerized madmen in Gotham City, and they're determined to spread the virus into the world beyond, but they're gonna have to get past Batgirl first, and there's no words that can describe the battle for the Burnside Bridge. You've got to see it to believe it. Next, we have Kitchen number 5 of 8. As the husbands make their presence known back on the streets of New York City, Kath, Raven, and Angie solidify their relationship with Gargano, but is that enough to guarantee his loyalty, or will the streets of Hell's Kitchen run red with their blood? We've also got Red Hood and the Outlaws number 40. After months of turmoil, Red Hood, Starfire, and Arsenal are facing their inner demons, but what they find could lead to the end of their partnership, especially if Blackfire kills them first. And we've got Teen Titans number 8. The Titans world is rocked by the unexpected return of Superboy. From Marvel Comics, we've got Black Widow number 16. Natasha gets an offer. Will she refuse? Chaos gets closer than even before. An enemy resurfaces with a surprising agenda. Can Natasha stay in the game, or will she get burned? Next, we have Captain America and the Mighty Avengers number 6. Existential horror from beyond as Cortex Incorporated drops the mask and shows its true face. For one of the Mighty Avengers, the nightmare is starting all over again. Is this story even in continuity? Are you even in continuity? Look in the mirror. What if you're not? We've also got Guardians Team Up number 3. The Black Vortex continues to ravage the galaxy. When the Black Vortex strikes at the heart of the Kree Empire, Ronan the Accuser must join the battle with the Guardians. Will Ronan make the ultimate betrayal to save his Kree brothers? Next we have Storm number 9, guest starring Gambit. When everyone's favorite Cajun gets in over his head, it's up to Storm to bail him out. But while Storm is remembering how to pick locks, a figure from her past prepares to strike. And we've got Wolverines number 11. Romance is brewing between X-23 and, well, you'll have to read to find out. But is it unrequited or unwise for heroes to get tangled in love? The battle inside the man known as Shogun is now risking the lives of his teammates and friends. Looks like evil may prevail. What does that mean for the overall mission at hand? Phantom Eel and Culpepper have been fighting tooth and claw for an unknown benefactor, risking their lives for everything, but who are they risking it all for? From IDW Publishing, we've got Orphan Black #2, One of a Kind. When Sarah attempted to assume the identity of a look-alike stranger, she soon uncovered an earth-shattering secret. She's a clone. Sarah also learns that someone is trying to kill them all, one by one. That someone is another clone, Helena, a murderous, self-abusing fundamentalist who believes she is the original and all her other sisters are abominations to be eradicated. And we've got Star Trek Planet of the Apes #4 of 5. An uneasy alliance has been forged between Captain Kirk and Colonel Taylor, but will it be enough to prevent Commander Kor and his Klingons from toppling the regime of Dr. Zaius? From Image Comics, we've got Chrononauts #1. From Mark Miller and Sean Gordon Murphy comes a bromance for the ages. Corbin Quinn and Danny Riley are two buddies who love to have fun. They're also scientific geniuses. When their research leads them to a time-traveling adventure, will they use their knowledge for the good of all mankind, or use the space-time continuum for their own ends? This is the story of man's first televised steps through the time stream and everything going wrong in the process. From Valiant Entertainment, we've got Divinity #2 of 4. New York Times bestselling writer Matt Kindt and blockbuster artist Trevor Hairsline unleash an all-new chapter of the year's most powerful science fiction saga. Can the world withstand its first confrontation with a being of godlike proportions? A Soviet cosmonaut, seemingly imbued with the powers of a god, has taken up residence in the Australian outback. Some think him to be a savior, while others believe he will usher in a new communist age. Now the rest of the world's powers must decide for themselves. Will the enigmatic Divinity offer his hand in friendship, or will Earth's heroes find themselves helpless against the wrath of the divine? And we've got Ivar Timewalker #3, From Here to Oblivion. Ivar, the man called Timewalker, has been through ancient battlefields, political assassinations, the beginning of time, the invention of time travel, the great wars, and the distant future. And that was only in the first 2 issues. Now he faces his greatest threat yet, himself. What secret does the Timewalker hold that will unlock his interest in Neela and flip our very definition of time travel on its head? Can a man resigned to forever walk through time truly make up the mistakes of his past? And just who is the mysterious sociopath leader of Oblivion? And why does she have such an interest in Ivar and Neela's time-traveling team-up? Find out here as Fred Van Lent and Clayton Henry, the team that brought you Archer and Armstrong, continue their clock-stopping race to the end of time and back. Out in trades this week, we've got All New X-Men Volume 6, The Ultimate Adventure hardcover, Premier Edition. Dimension hopping is something of an X-Men rite of passage, and it's about time the All New X-Men took the plunge. You don't always have to travel miles away to visit a new place, but will the web in which these time-displaced young X-Men find themselves tangled ultimately bring about their end? Okay, enough subtlety. The all-new X-Men meet Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man, and this is a showdown you won't want to miss. Will either universe ever be the same again? Guest starring scores of Ultimate characters. Plus, it's Iceman Unleashed as young Bobby Drake takes the offensive. And for someone who said she doesn't find him particularly pleasant to be around, X-23 seems to have taken an odd interest in the high-flying angel. Tune in as yesterday's X-Men continue to explore the fear-fraught future of the present day. Collecting All New X-Men number 31 through 35. And we have United States of Murder, Inc., Volume 1, Truth hardcover, Premier Edition. From the creators of the Eisner Award-winning best-selling Powers comes a brand new world of crime fiction like you've never seen before. Discover a world in which the families of organized crime never lost their stranglehold on the United States. Today is the day that Valentine Gallo becomes a made man, and it's also the day he learns the secrets behind the organization he has served since he was old enough to walk. But it is mysterious hitwoman Jagger Rose that will forever turn his life upside down. This bold new vision of crime fiction harkens back to Bendis' earliest work in crime comics, while also giving you everything you expect from the creators of Powers, one of the most successful and longest-lasting independent comics in history. Collecting the United States of Murder, Inc. number 1 through 6. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books for this week. There's still plenty of others available, and you can check them all out at your local comic shop. I'm a little tied up this week with insurance for the water damage to my collection, so I wasn't able to produce my usual Marvel, DC, and Indies videos this week, but they should be back next week. And of course, you can still follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.